we're gonna try something silly. I didn't put this quite in the title because I'm concerned that Twitch wouldn't like the title. But I've put it in all the advertisements. And I am going to show you in just a moment. So you can see here, I actually was trying this earlier because my hernia was acting up, and I'm like, oh, this could be fun. And I actually ran into a bug, maybe, in the mission tree. I think I just happened to do things in, like, just the right order, and it might be resolvable. So I'm going to start it over, and I'm going to pick a different person. But if you look over here, you know, way down, you know, south of Sarhal, you get to the punctured coast, Ardinia. Doesn't it look like a pair of just, like, messed up testicles hanging off of the south of Sarhal? And there's people down here. And they have mission trees. And I think they're the same. I did a little bit as this one. The early game's gonna be slow, but we're gonna go pick one of these. I'm not gonna be Watoy because I just tried them. I think it's gonna be basically the same no matter what. But let's try these folks. Rijal Sahil, the Bashidi, ruled by Malik, no ruler. Oh, they don't have rulers. We have no ruler. You have a ruler. Maybe we should be you, because you actually start with someone. Sharmaka. Malik Sharmaka of the Deep Desert. Let's go check them out. I'm not going to do Iron Man in case I run into the bug. So we're going to go normal mode. I know. I normally just do Iron Man for keys, but if I bug this out again somehow, I know how to fix it, but it needs to be able to go into debug mode, which you can't on Iron Man, so we're gonna not Iron Man. Some would say the Council of Qasriga is a country with an insignificant past. Well, this is more jealousy than truth. Our past is not as important as our future. We are the Genie group. The Genie cult. We have cheaper advisors, more tolerance to the true faith. We're a native tribe with a native council. We can migrate, we can claim territory, but we can't form federations. We can form alliances, but I think we don't want to. For reasons. Everything there can be fine. So, before we look at the event, I've already mentioned it. These are our people. They're all the same. And in the middle of the continent here, we have the Great Deep Desert. So we're not going to be able to do anything but mess around on the coasts. Can't cross, can't do none of that. Oof. Our religion. The Genie cult. Amongst many Sarhali religions, genies are venerated or feared due to their immense power and the many myths surrounding their exploits. This can be seen best within the lands of Ardmia, where the wise Jinn of that region is named for founded a grandiose kingdoms that hold a strong legacy amongst sub-Saharan lands. The people here worship her and genie kind as the highest beings possible, forgoing their own gods. In the modern day, few remain to practice the arts of the Genie cult, due to the mass slaughtering of the Goryadaga by the Kayakul. Despite nearing extinction, there remain small tribes across the continent, who persist in their practices. Most center around Ardnia and the worship of her due to the legacy of her kingdom. The Goryadaga do not believe her to be more supreme than other genies, though. They hold the belief that genies aren't born equal, but they aren't necessarily above other genies merely because of such. Much of the practices found in the genie cult can be seen as progenitors to many of the practices of the Hababzar and Ringta Seekers' religions. What differentiates them is their direct belief in deities of higher power and the use of idolatry and incense to invoke the power of prayer. Many of the genie cult's practices are said to have originated from the Dim peoples, ancient Bulwari, and smaller groups that would come to the ancestors of the peoples living within Jasir Jod and Jasir Dong. Hey, Sahil. Yeah, Ardmia. We're playing with our balls today. I have never been able to not see this little section as a pair of messed up testicles. Yeah. Turns out genie cultists are stored in the balls. So yeah. Looks like this is the same as just like a Hinduism-esque mechanic. We get our cults, we select them, we get benefits. So we have a little event. Do I want to look around any? I mean, we got us, and we got these folk, Adabi, who are Rinta Seekers, not genie cultists. So I have a feeling we're just gonna kinda only be caring about our garbage for a bit. The Mysteries of Ardmia. Ardmia? Genie protests and protests cause STDs. Sure, if we don't die at this early game and we don't crash or something, and we actually start doing well and conquering the world, we can be the Genie protest STD arising out of the balls of Ardmia. Yeah. My brain is cursed. I know it bothers everyone else, but I have to live with my brain all day, every day. Ardmia. Both the name of our homeland and the name of our empress that was. A djinn who disappeared with the rest of her exalted kin during the dissipation, when all the genies on Halan, some of whom had ruled over the lands they'd claimed for millennia, disappeared in a matter of months. After our beloved empress that was vanished, her sultanate was no more, yet our ancestors did not give in to despair. Instead, they founded the Jinnaka Vizierate on the ruins of Ardmia's sultanate, a most noble endeavor founded on the desperate hope that she might one day return to us. Thus these lands, now called the Jasir Dug, have been given to us as their stewards, yet to our everlasting regret, they remained ravaged and in utter disarray for far too many centuries. Our tribes have been scattered ever since the Jinnaka Vizierate fell almost 800 years ago, due to the last remnants of the once elaborate genie-wrought irrigation network collapsing, leaving its former subjects alone to wander the vast former territories alone. In doing so, our forebears unwittingly mirrored the exodus of our distant ancestors, who followed Ardmia in the great procession out of another war-torn land of sand and prosperity to these promised lands so many millennia ago. However, our homeland, once seen as a salvation for our people, has been plagued by the unrelenting thirst of the Keakul. These dangerous creatures from the infernal plane were summoned long ago by the treacherous sons of Ardmia, and their unrelenting attacks have contributed to the downfall of the Jinnaka Vizierate. While most gifts of the genies were lost just as they themselves disappeared, their relics, some still imbued with their power, lay in wait for us to find. Hidden deep in the sands of the Jasir Dug lay relics, most as useless as slag iron, but some as rare and as powerful as Damestyr. We must take the first steps to reclaim our glories. Around Ardmia there are legacies. These legacies hold genie magics. We can find them by migrating or subjugating other tribes who hold them. As a subject, they cannot find legacies, and they'll give them buffs when we pick them up. The last records of the Vizierate say there are 3 legacies which hold power without the Jinn lost in Ardmia's sands, and Anbennar flaunts one openly. Anbennar is these ones. So they have one of the relics. Does it tell me anything about what modifiers you have anywhere? So I can see what relics you hold? No. Well. So there's 2 more legacies to find, and then we have to steal from people. Someone's tapping at me. Oh. It's you bemoaning, agreeing with me that it's stupid that it costs so much for a colonoscopy. Okay, so our mission tree is not very big. Does not necessarily look like we get more after this, so it looks like this is all that there is. We have a mission to go fight Teoku warbands. And we have a mission to befriend somebody, call a council, then do some insults. Some rivalry things. Oh. So after we've reached out, this mission here wants us to be here. Huh. Well, that's for... Well, we actually can start with one of these. We'll start with you. You're the furthest away. Eventually, we're going to want to conquer everyone. So it looks like our whole goal is... I want to make sure I don't mess up anything we need to do. So this one, we need to have money and our capital here and mana. Here, we need to have activated entire judgment. Here we need people to be chill about us. This we need to be big enough to take someone over. This we need to mock rivals. This we need to take everyone over. This we need to deal with merfolk. This we need to have used more genie power. This we need to kill a bunch of Kayakul. And this we need to no longer be native. Okay. So, migration is going to cost us military power, which we don't necessarily want to do a lot of. We also want to go fight these people. So we've got 2 small war bands of the little demon folk. 3, another one there. But I think we're going to just hang out where we are for a bit. Long term, I see Badabi being a problem, so I'm going to start trying to defend Biraga over here from the get-go. And we'll just chill. It's not speed 5, that's too fast. Also, because I'm not on... let me set a monthly autosave. Because I'm not on Iron Man in case I have to enter debug mode. So yeah, this early game is going to be us chilling, going around, fighting these war bands, and hoping we get some good stuff. Claiming territory at the cost of admin power, working to reform. Oh, since we're on this end, can we? We can. We're on this side, so we can actually have someone go up here to Bamakemta. Sure, Bamakemta. I'll call it that. And have them send some trade down towards us. Such a pittance. As far as buildings are concerned, we're going to have the standard native buildings. That we want to reform. So... fire pits? Costs a lot, but that's... I think probably fire pit. Fire pit into longhouse, or longhouse into fire pit. Make sure there aren't any buildings we need. Fire pit. We need a fire pit for the mission tree, so fire pit. Fire pit first. And because we're migratory, we're going to want to keep an eye on devastation. Yeah. I always am tempted to migrate a lot, but rather than migrate a lot, I think I'm going to chill until devastation is pretty bad. Especially since there's nothing exciting around here. Just more of these little war bands. This is all 3 dev. So we do need mana. Are we developing mana? Yes. Ruler can study magic. Oh, Malak is a wizard. Okay. Let's not make... Yeah, okay. Malak is a powerful mage and in his 40s. Let's not make Malak a ruler because we're going to need mana to deal with the Dead City. I need a lot of mana to deal with the Dead City. We're proficient at transmutation. What sort of stuff does transmutation give us? Plant growth gives us goods produced. Transmute to gold gives us a bunch of money at the cost of some inflation. It's basically free. It's basically a loan without interest. I'll think of it that way. So if we have 100 mana and are renowned at transmutation, we can take a loan without interest. Reshape terrain. Makes it cheaper to develop at the cost of increasing devastation. Rite of conception. Creates a powerful mage. Heir. Well, we don't have heirs, so that's not super useful, but good to know. I mean, we may as well study magic. I'd prefer studying magic with the estates, but we don't have estates. able to study transmutation. Eventually that will be useful. I will gladly accept the money. Because it's going to take a while to get to 150 otherwise. We've located a magical relic. Oh, it's not one of the genie relics, it's just a magical relic. Okay. So, this was the capital of the old Genie Kingdom. It's just a coastal desert now. Do you have any modifiers? No. Well, it's appropriate then that we're finding magic items in the deserts that were once the capital. I'm imagining anal. Okay. I'm imagining like tumbling old like minarets and such poking out of the desert along the coastline. Or no. Instead of thinking, let's think Timbuktu, like those Timbuktu pyramids that have like the stuff sticking out of them. Those, but have crumbled are under the centuries since the vanishing of the genies and the relentless hordes of hell. You take care of you. I keep showing up to your streams and falling asleep, so I'm not allowed to say anything. Now the question I'm having is, do I want to just go fight? No. So I'm gonna chill and not fight any of the genies because I know I need mana. And in order to have mana, I need to have, because we don't have a mage state, to have mana, I need a powerful mage ruling the country. And that's Malik. That's Malik Sharmaka of the Deep Desert here. So we're gonna relax. We're gonna not go fighting the various demons of the wastes. Because we're here. This we should meet soon-ish. And then we can hit here. Trigger this. Trigger a merfolk settlement popping up over here. Ooh. Other than that, where are the nearest merfolk settlements? There's a trading post there. Yeah, there's a merfolk settlement over here. In Ardmitlava. There's an merfolk settlement down here in Qasriga, Macheda, that's allied with Padabi. And there's a merfolk settlement way over here in Qasriga Hupika. Yeah, I wouldn't say no to a merfolk settlement here. That gives us the ability to trade with merfolk later. How rapidly is devastation rising? Not rapidly enough to be a problem. For you, Null, because you just got here, the way this works is we're basically nomadic grazers, and we're gonna be devastating the provinces, and then we'll have to migrate to a new province. And then, as we migrate around to these provinces, we're going to run into the problem that unregulated research. What is best practice? Who determines it? Why is it followed? There's only one wizard in the kingdom. I've got itchy eye. There's only one wizard in the kingdom, or in the tribe. There's only one wizard in the tribe, and that's the Malik. So, who determines best practices? The Malik. Who's saying this? Fire them immediately. because we don't have unregulated research from our mages, somebody, apparently there are other wizards working with the Moloch, and one of them is in the army and is like, well, maybe we can be crazy about how we're gonna do our magic. And the Moloch's apparently saying no and just killing him. We lost 1 manpower. One guy wanted to be a magic tech bro, and the Moloch went, nope. Die. Yeah, I would unregulate research, except we don't have any estates. So we don't have a mage estate, so we can't deregulate the research. Oof. It's not that uncommon for like this sort of situation. I don't think adventurers only have the 1 estate. I don't think so. Because we're not monstrous tribes, we don't qualify for the monstrous tribes estate. Because we're not adventurers, we don't qualify for the adventurers guild estate. And then because we are tribal, we don't qualify for merchants or the church or the nobility. So it's just a case of us not qualifying for any estates. We can spend the money right now on this. You know what? I'm not planning on going for the one that needs the ceremonial fire pit first. So I'm going to grab the longhouse first. I don't think you can be a migratory tribe and start with mages. I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, we don't have estates. We don't have mages. Clearly, there were at least 2, right? Okay, I think we're gonna have to ally you to get to how much we want. Yeah, clearly we have 2, right? The Moloch is a powerful mage, and then we killed a guy for wanting to do magic evil. So, what is a magisterium? What's a magisterium? You've never heard of this? There's one dead guy who really didn't like the Moloch. Reaching out. Okay, we have our first mission. The land we used to call ours is now a desolate wasteland, only sparsely inhabited due to the chaos that followed Ardenia's dissipation and the depredations of the Keakul. We know of a few larger tribes like ourselves who also roam the old domains aimlessly. However, the time for change is now. The neighboring Bashadi grow increasingly decadent while our civilization's forsaken and our faith abandoned. This must change. We have to reach out to the rest of the survivors and forge strong bonds to help pull ourselves into a new era. This will make us historical friends with Wetoy and give us construction costs down. Should have clicked that button before I started building. Actually, we'll only get half the investment back. Should have done that before we started building the lighthouse. Oh well. So this one here, to convene the council, we need the fire pit. But we only need 50 to do this. And we need the mana. I think that's what we're going to do here. So the genie lovers, I think, might be our next one. Can we do this one? They need to like us. Or they need to not exist. So I think we just need to befriend these 2 to get that done. Or I'm misunderstanding it, but who cares about inflation? It's only money. Yeah, we'll send people to Ambubariz and Rijal Sahil. Rijasahil. Pity I can't rename other people's countries, right? Just cut off the Rijal. So we'll just continue chilling. See, I'm so anxious and bad at patience. I want to just build up and come fight these. But I think we want to wait until we've done this other mission. Yeah, we're only at 10% devastation. We aren't in a position where we need to worry. I don't want to really migrate this way, I don't think, because it's going to be tough to migrate back. And there's not really anything valuable here. I mean, there's not really anything valuable here either. We could immediately do a little loop to get back to this capital. And here we can fight this minor group. And I know from my earlier test down here is Watoi, where I bugged things out and realized I'm going to have to be able to go into debug mode, theoretically, to close out missions here. I know that killing one of these warbands makes it cheaper to add this to tribal land. So that'll be good for giving us more tribal land. Are there any other people? Oh, what are you? Mild monsoon. Well, so I think my initial migration pattern is going to be Furanshar, Barshadathul, and then back to Ardin Karast. Fighting down here. Maybe claiming this, I'm not sure. Then we'll want to head over to Lukshita here. Fight them down, claim it. Briga Saidelderk. Fight them down. And then over here in Arakat, there's another one. But I think we'll fight these two. Well, then we can go here, here, or here, here. So I think we're gonna, this way, just fight all of these. They're all small. Oh, there's another one back here. That's medium. Yeah, so there's several small bands, so we should be able to affordably get most of this into our tribal land. We'll have to take one of these. So probably Ukwa Duholdasi. Because, like, none of them are... What are you? Wool, livestock, spices. Wool, livestock, spices. Yeah. These are all kind of garbage provinces anyway. But we can get them all added to our tribal land fairly easily. Maybe we do just, once we've cleared this, come this way and take all of them. And then we can come up here, take this... Take this. Do we see any large bands over here? That's another small. That's another small. Yeah, there's not any large bands. Small. There's a large band. A large band is something that we won't be able to handle until we reformed, I don't think. Which is a pity, because it basically gives you the tribal situation for free. There's a lot of warbands along here. So that's nice. Yeah, I think maybe we go towards Badabi first. Do I have any interactions with Badabi in my tree? This is different, I think. Yeah, these two are different. Down as Watoi, I had these as messing with Badabi. But I don't have a desire to mess with Badabi. I want to hit you. Yes. This is going to suck from not ever getting Renaissance, but we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. I'll take mercantilism. It's money. But yeah. Since I don't have any issues with Badabi, I might want to just... befriend them, or at least have decent relations with them. There's nothing stopping me from going over there. Got an ancient tome. Love that for me. We're almost to 20%, but we don't really need to migrate till we get to 80 or 90. Got the station, so that's fine. As far as our mana, we're getting close to 100. That's good. Yeah, we'll make that no problem. I'll take free prestige. I don't have any need for a spy networks for now. And genie lovers. For this, we need... we need all of our rivals have to have been insulted. But we don't have any rivals. So do we count as having insulted all of our rivals? We're gonna find out soon, because this is nearly there. Kazari Doka. Oh! We're not even talking to the right people. I'm not even talking to the right person. Apparently we need to... Is that really true? I'm hoping this means Qasriga. Otherwise we'll have an issue. Yay! Better at transmutation. I just assumed this was the other place. That's a province. We need to insult their rivals. Oh, I see. We have to insult their rivals. Which we haven't found you, so we can't insult you. We can insult you. Just regular insults, right? And your next rival... So we've insulted the only rival of theirs we know about. That's an issue. What other options do we have? Oh, province owner has been insulted. Oh. They don't exist, so if we insult them... I understand now. That took me way too long to figure out. Mission fulfilled. After the collapse of the Sultanate, our ancestors did not stay complacent. The Vizierate still expanded, bringing stories of genies to new lands, where among some, they're still kept in high regard. Will this aspect, however, does not lead to many fellow worshippers of the genies, it still creates a special relationship between our peoples, and those who still reside in the seat of the Jinn, and those who still respect the Vizierate and our stories of the Jinn. In the first Vizierate colony amongst the Dakichi, Qasriga, genie cultists remain not uncommon. We should capitalize on this and formulate a bilateral treaty between our two peoples. With our recognition as the keepers of the seat of the Jinn elevating their prestige above their bellicose neighbors, and us benefiting from their experience in warfare, we shall put to good use the struggle to unite our brothers through peaceful means or war. So we're just like, Qasriga, F you. Rar, our people. So we're going to gain an accepted culture of Kambadak. If we had 3 units, they would gain morale of armies and separatism. Do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? Do I care? It's going to be 20 years. I don't think we're going to be fighting them. I think I'm going to want to do this before we're unified, so I'm going to just fire it off, and... how would I get 3 people there? I would have to build 3 transports. I could do that. No, I couldn't. We don't have enough sailors. Okay. I tried. Therefore, no one can criticize me. And I don't actually care about you. Get out of here. I will send someone over to the Badabi. Get that mill tech up. We're only at 21% devastation, so we're not in a big hurry. We almost have the money. And we almost have the mana. So we're gonna be doing whatever explorations here we have. I'm not gonna read the mission until it's time. But I will read the mission. And then we'll start coming over here, fighting the demons. What are their names again? They are... Kayakul. We'll fight the Kayakul. We'll claim this as tribal lands. Come back this way, go around, and we'll try and make this, the seat of the capital. Because that seems to be what, lore-wise, this place was. Even though it's trash. It's what? A 3-dev province by default? Oh, a free Diplo. We'll just run people around. Oh look, they're fighting people. Qasriga. To imagine what it's like from Qasriga's perspective. You're sitting there, sipping tea, and you get a letter from these desert nomads going, "You shall no longer oppress the children of the Jinn." And then nothing comes of it. Well, something has come of our patience. The Dead City. For centuries we've struggled to survive in the ruins of the once great Ardimkarast. We have walked every inch of its ruined halls in search of some ancient remnant that would save us, and we've long wished for this once grand city to return to its former glory, but alas, it has only continued to waste away. Most have given up hope and begun to wander the sands like the rest of our Guryadaga brethren. But now something momentous has changed, for the mages of our tribe have made a discovery. A hidden merfolk settlement under our city, found by chance by mages divining for clear water. The settlement surrounded the half-submerged bottom half of the old mechanism of the Jinnaka Sultanate. The air filled the top half of the cavernous space laced with gold and arcane carvings, its access routes long sealed off from the surface by unfortunate building collapse. By utilizing the arcane might remaining in the artifact, we may be able to slowly revitalize the city, or so say the mages. We must pounce on this opportunity with utmost haste. Ardamaya's great city cannot be allowed to rot any further. So this place gets a base tax, 2 base production, and a base manpower, no longer sucking. We then get 7 years of tax income -6 buckets and tax modifier down. And we lose a bunch of money. And then in 7.5 years, it'll gain development along with a merfolk settlement. Let's go! Not looking forward to the impact this is going to have on our money. Let's just get a general. Because we're gonna get ready to start heading over. I think I'm gonna try and migrate and claim some of this and then come back before the 7 years is up. I'll be in 59. So we want to make sure we're back here by 59 to make sure that nothing happens to our lovely capital. Our future capital. Wega bigga? Wega bigga bigga wega. You know? I don't know what my brain was doing there. They're Gumty. Some of these names seem a little silly. The Death-Bringing Cobra. Okay. Sure. The Hut-Building Weaverbird. The Sea-Roaming Inuyabi. Well, this is fine. Okay. So it turns out we're fine. That massive expense is not actually doing anything negative. Okay. So I'm going to build up to 6 because I know from previous experience these are 6 strong. It's going to put us over, but that's fine. And while it's building up, we'll drill a little. I should have been drilling this entire time. I'm a fool. And then we'll start our migration. Hope that doesn't break anything. I'm not going to make Malik a war wizard unless we need to, and I don't think we need to. I think if we go up to 6 strength, this 131 should be sufficient to... Dubby here should be sufficient to get us through. These regiments are not numbered correctly. That bothers me. have some tech. We do want to take the tech when it's not too expensive. We're at the 6. Let's wait to recharge, and then we'll go so we can fire immediately. And what do we want? Gold. Obviously we'll want gold, but basically anything that isn't wool, livestock, or fish is a great roll. Let's roll. Spices! Hey! We love spices. Fight the war band. If we win, we get rep. There we go. That is demon down. Oh yeah, small bands don't give us an actual discount, so that's 100 admin. But it's fine. We'll claim the land anyway. Okay, so you're done there. At this point, just make sure we befriend everyone if we can. Policy trees. EU5 is doing some things with that in bureaucracies. I haven't been in an EU5 mood since they made the updates, though. But, yeah. As far as policies, though, like, we have something similar to it here with ideas. As we gain technology, we can unlock kind of cultural ideas that we can run through. And here, we actually have policies. And when we build up our ideas and we complete groups of ideas, then we'll have potential policies we can enact in the area. We also have our government's reforms. So we are a chiefdom, which gives us tribal development growth. We could change this for a different bonus if we wanted it. I think tribal development growth is probably our best option. Soon we're going to get, and by that I mean at the end of 1457, we'll gain another government reform, which is sort of like a policy. We'll be able to decide if we have a martial country, an oral country, or a land country. I think land tradition's probably going to be best because of that minus 25% add tribal land cost. So we can spend money, or we can spend stability. Money is just money. I'm going to spend the money. We'll pay people to calm them down. So people were feeling angry, and we could either kill some people and make them mad, or just give them money. If we make them mad, we have to spend effort recovering things, so we'll just bribe them. And we will remember to train, because if we train, that makes us stronger. It makes us gain army drill, which gives us better damage across the board for that unit. It also increases our army's professionalism, and our army's professionalism will give us, it'll make the drill go less badly. Like, we'll lose it less when we're not drilling. We'll be better at sieges. And we'll also gain stuff as we go up, like the ability to make supply depots so that we don't suffer as much attrition, or refill garrisons. And none of this really matters right now because we are just you know, 15, 20,000 people wandering around in the desert, fighting devils and waiting for some mages we left behind to make contact with merfolk in our future capital. But it's all important to have. So yeah, there are policy trees. And then there's mission trees, which are less interesting, but they're still kind of fun. We do need to do some genie cult incantations. Do judgment, warmth of life, and no funding mages. So we are funding mages. Yeah. So we need this to expire in 60 before we can do the next step of that tree. And when that expires, if we've done do judgment and have warmth of life, then we can pull off magical land. Let's go ahead and check out this incantation. I'm gonna do a big incantation. Artemian Rite doesn't do much for us. Do judgment. Okay, we're gonna do judgment. We're gonna kill 3,000 people to gain a stability. Sure. There we go. We have to have done that at some point for a magical land. And now we have something. But yeah, okay. So we celebrated killing a bunch of devils by performing a ritualistic mass sacrifice of people to the genies. Okay. You can only use that once per 5 years. We need warmth of life. I don't know how we get warmth of life, but we'll check that eventually. I'm not quite sure what I was expecting Do Judgment to do, but I was not expecting it to be 3,000 manpower for a stability. Oh, I should have boosted stability before I fired it, because we could have gotten the stability 2 for cheap. Because it gets more expensive, again, by 50% when we're at positive stability. So we could have boosted to 1 and then gotten the free stability up to 2. My micro is so bad. There, it's down to 7. We could just migrate back soon. But I think we're going to be greedy and we're going to push over at least to Qasriga. It is a very real risk of it eating all your time, yeah. It's part of the reason why I like to stream it, because then I kind of limit myself to how much I play it. But also, it's not as good as it used to be, so I can get frustrated and I'll please stop too. Yeah, it's definitely a thousands of hours of your life sort of game. Shall we be a little greedy? Let's be a little greedy. Yeah. How much drill do I want before we go? I want to get back to the capital, so let's go ahead, stop drilling, migrate over here where we have a small Kayakul warband. Livestock. Well, that's not the role we wanted. It was the most likely. So it'll cost 117 to fire this, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna cost 117 either way. But I think we'll probably... Oh, we'll gain the 3,000 manpower right back when we finish this. Okay. We're full up on mana, so let's take a moment here. Fire off a combat ward. Fight the warband. So, our morale is a little not great, but we have superior shock, hopefully. That was not as certain a thing as it should have been. But we did. We finished our eternal enemies. Ever since the dissipation, our lands have been plagued by the Kayakul, creatures from the infernal plane summoned via a gaping hole in the desert, studded by tall, finger-like rock stacks, ripped open by Allah Hamur the Crimson and Al-Madhab the Golden in their treacherous rebellion against our empress that was, their exalted mother Artemia the Great. Merely laying eyes upon them elicits a deep sense of revulsion, with their bloated heads sporting undersized, bulging eyes, pupils constantly refocusing as they strain to find life to rip asunder. A cavernous mouth studded with fleshly horns and razor-sharp teeth, coated with strips of human flesh. A plethora of wings, seemingly grafted on, clumped to their backs, twisting and being degloved and torn out as the monsters fly. Their chests torn, leaving a hole in place of a heart. 4 disproportionate arms, skin stretched thin over the muscles and spikes, sprouting out of their wrists and elbows. Small clawed legs, strong enough to pull intestines out of a man. More so than anything sentient, these things are our enemies. We've dedicated lifetimes to the endless struggle, chaining countless souls to a shared regret. For the war has not been won. We gain 3,000 manpower, we gain a tribal development, and we gain manpower recovery speed for 15 years. And because it was only a small band, we don't get a discount on adding that to our land. I think I'll grab you. Do I want to go do this now, or do I want to come back towards Artem Karast? To treat with the merfolk. Let's go back towards Artem Karast and let our points recover. It's a little expensive as far as military points, but we'll come back here. We've managed to gather enough precious relics from the long-gone genie rule to erect sites of worship for Artemia, where she can be properly venerated as is her due. Yay! I think we already had that. Yeah, we're already in her cult. But, yay. And now we can train while we drive up Devastation here. And make more money, because it's just a better province overall. And now I have the question I always have, do I want the oral tradition or the land tradition? And I think I want the land tradition for that 25% less tribal cost. I probably should have been patient and waited till I took that to take Briga, but it's fine. It'll save us a little bit, because, yeah. Basically, adding one of these is 100 plus 10 times the number we already have. So it would be 130 to take this one, 140, 150, plus any modifiers. Very quickly it gets, like, out of hand how much it is. And you'll notice they're going to be ahead of us in tech, all of these. Not really a lot, but they will be ahead of us in tech because they're words. They're not our... They haven't been migrating. They're sitting here devastating their lands all the way until it forces them to move. Which is probably wiser. I just get impatient. So they're all just... Oh, that's medium. A medium warband will make it cheaper for us. So we'll probably pick this one last, because like it's not a flat cost reduction, it's like a percent reduction. So if we take these two, we'll save even more points taking this one. You're small. You don't have bands. You're medium. So now we're just waiting, I think, for money, because we'll need the money to build the fire pit and send gifts. Oh, we could transmute to gold. We can just get money. What's our inflation at? Hey! We're gonna push that button pretty regularly, I think. How expensive is it to get an inflation reduction person? We don't even have one available. Well, then we're not going to worry about it. Basically, that's one inflation. So that spell is 40, is spend 75 admin, get 40 gold right now. That's a trade I'm willing to make. That's not bad. And later in the game, when we can afford advisors and we have an inflation reduction advisor, that's just even better. We could be making more if we stood down our army. Oh. Well. Thus ends our great transmutation. Malik has passed away. So unless Isman here is also a great ruler. Nope. Bold fighter. Well, in that case, it's probably worth it to just stand down and get the extra money. Rip the free money. We realized the free money existed, and then free money man died. Yeah, I'll eat it. I'll eat the stability. We actually need money at this point, so... Because we're gonna need... If we look down here... 153, and then we're going to need to send gifts to everyone else, which is 75 apiece. So we're going to need 153, 228. And we make a ducat. Now we make a ducat and a half a month. So that's 128 minus 50, 78 by a ducat and a half. So half of 78 is 34. So we can trim that off. 78, 7654, 40, 44? 44 months. That's about 3 years, I think, if we don't spend any money. And my math is right. Let's just sit here and wait for 3 years. How exciting is everything? Look, there's a monsoon. You can see it in the map. Look across at all of these lovely jungles and little mountains. Looks so warm and pleasant. Well, that less so. We definitely have the least pleasant section. Just look at this. There's nothing here. It'll be fine. We'll rebuild it. Slowly but surely, we'll rebuild it. Oh, we need to... That is not acceptable. We need better mill power than that. Falling behind on military technology is a way to die and die hard. Like, we're all on par at 4, but we want to make sure that we're up there, if not on par with, then better than our friends in the south. Because eventually we're going to have to subjugate everyone. Not for this one, but this one. If we have an ally with trust and opinion, they become our vassal. Otherwise, we get against the world. If we have against the world, here it gets renewed. Question is, do we have trust? Can we get trust? Yes, in theory. How much trust? We might. We might just go get a free vassal down there. 200 opinion, 65 trust. Yeah, we can get 200 opinion there. And 65 trust. Would be trading favors for trust like 3 times. Everyone else has finally moved one. Yeah, 80%. That's when the AI thinks you should move. And I kind of think the AI's right. Because it costs the Miltech to move. But I'm greedy, and I'm impatient. We can use a genie cult power. Let's prepare another incantation. We're only gonna have... So let's see. Warmth of Life we can grab here. Yes, we need that. So now we need to have our genie cult power recover. How does our genie cult power increase? Like, I know we have it, but I don't see where it is, or how much we have, or how much we gain. There's really nothing about how much genie cult power we have, or how much we're gaining. It a little feels bad not to be able to know how much genie cult power I'm gaining. I hope that we just regain our 4 before the modifier runs out. Because that's the only thing we need where we can do this. And then we'll check it out. But yeah, considering that genie power is like a major mechanic here, it would be nice if we had some indication of how much we had somewhere. Is there one like on here? Nope. You can treat with the myrrh. I may as well do that every 5 years. The merfolk are standoffish and don't take kindly to landed people. We can improve the relationship completing some task. We can allow freedom of movement. We can bow to their demands, or we can exceed waters above and below. Let's allow freedom of movement because it's free. And I like free benefits. Yay! They're unfriendly to us still. They still have little interest in speaking to us, but their opinion of us is better than it was before. Okay, so we can talk to the merfolk again in 5 years. I think we're going to need to have a good relationship with them. Yeah, we're going to need a relationship with them eventually. We don't need to. We just need to treat with merfolk for half cost. Does it cost us to click that button? Doesn't look like it costs us anything. Well, we could build something here and make increased money. But I think we'll wait until we get the fire pit. we? Get better goods produced. Goods produced is money. Like, we come down here and we check goods produced. Can we see our breakdown on how our goods produced becomes our production income? 2% production efficiency, 0.21. %. I'm not quite sure I follow. Okay. Sunken Cove Booty, a flamboyant bard. His instruments wheezing with each step, melodiously hums, and some with good news. My Malak, betwixt sets highlighting Qasriga's majesty, a service I'm all too pleased to humbly perform, I plucked out a drunken mercenary's muttering when playing to a crowd in Artem Karast. Alone, fresh-faced, yet somehow lousy with wealth, how queer. I plied the mercenary with music, 'tis no peak amply high by yours truly, and drink, and my serenading succeeded. Blessed by fate, the adventurous soul stumbled upon a submerged cove jammed with merfolk treasure. We could only retrieve a paltry sum, so I jammed my way to the spot and lo, dizzying wealth slumbered. Which leads me to the moment. The question I pose with keen drama is who exactly stored this treasure? Stranger still, why did the merfolk leave their hoard unattended? I'm certain you know just what to do with this treasure. You can guard until the merfolk return, which makes them like us a little bit more. Or we can make them a little bit angry and get $4. See, if it was like $40, I'd be like, hex yeah, but for 4? I don't think that's worth the inflation, let alone pissing off the merfolk. Yeah, we'll guard it for them. We'll drop some people off, we'll guard it for them until they get back. It's 4 ducats. That's less than half a year's tax income. We can build our earthwork in a storehouse. I want all of this. I'm so greedy, but I really need to hold my tongue. And do I need to rush through the mission tree? Nah. Let's get our goods produced up. Let's get our income up. Get that field going, have more income, and then that increased income will let us build that ceremonial fire later. We're not in a hurry. We don't need to be in a hurry. I will do, though, is I'll lay the groundwork for you becoming my vassal. Trade favors for trust. Because we're not going to call them into a war. If someone attacks us, how many favors can we? Let's go 20 favors for 10 trust right now. There we go. And we can get more later. It's not Final Fantasy today, no. Does it say Final Fantasy? Because I told it that I'm not playing Final Fantasy. I told it. I told Twitch. And I hit save and everything. So if it still says Final Fantasy, then that is Twitch not saving what I told it to save. So let me pull up here. Twitch work. Okay. The good news is it saved everything but the game. Okay, the game is updated. I'll take the $4 now. That's $4 that doesn't piss off Merfolk. Thank you for letting me know. No one else let me know. Wow. Yeah, for some reason, Twitch saved the title change, but not the game change. So, welcome to our fantasy EU4. We are Qasriga, wandering around the northern end of the deep desert, also known as the testicles of why can I not remember what this place is called? Sarhal. The testicles of Sarhal. See? Thunk, thunk, and they're dangling off the bottom of Sarhal. This used to be ruled over by a genie queen about 800 years ago. I call it that because it's there, but yeah, it's Qasriga. About 800 years ago, this was ruled over by a genie queen, but she and all the genies disappeared in the Great Dissolution, part of which included her sons ripping open a portal into hell, and now there's monsters plaguing the wasteland. We've made contact with some merfolk, we've unlocked some magic. Our previous ruler unlocked some magic here, and then gave himself a heart attack, transmuting stone into gold for the treasury. We also came on over this way, and killed demons, and claimed this territory as ours, but we're not doing anything with it. And now we're just kind of chilling out in the ruins of the old capital, devastating it while we let our technology recover. Then we're gonna wander on over here to Furanchar, and there's some Kayakul over here, and we'll kill them. I will gladly accept some diplomatic technology. I want to keep my technology in tip-top shape. So what idea group am I going to want? I think I'm going to want to keep focusing military and administration so that we can claim territory. So it's probably going to be a diplomatic idea. We're not going to be able to settle until after we reform, which is a ways away. So exploration isn't the right idea. Yay! On-key practice up. What are you thinking I should take for my first idea if I want to go Diplo? Court is not really useful here. We don't have enough people to... Well, Reform Progress could be good. Splendor could be good. I might go Court ideas for Splendor and Reform Progress. I might go Trade for just more money. Do I have any use for another merchant? I mean, more everything. Queen Nalina! It's Queen Nalina now, not Sis Boy Barbie. Ooh. Do I have any use for another merchant? I do, actually. We can reach the Yetchlok. The Yetchlok. Yeah, we can reach the Yetchlok trade node. So... You can be, but you don't have to be. Yeah, let's take this national idea, and we'll go merchant ideas. We'll go trade ideas. Secure more income. shrewd commerce practice. We're not going to make a lot of extra money this way, but having another merchant, this is probably fine. So we can get the global trade power, another merchant, some trade range, which might let us get someone else. Trade policy for more efficiency, more merchant trade power, trade steering power, caravan power. Yeah, trade ideas is fine. Yeah, that's good. I've convinced myself that I made an acceptable decision. And that, Null, is our first, what you're calling policy. And we can see here policies that it will unlock alongside other ideas. So if we also take plutocratic ideas and finish them, we can set up a trade post network. If we do aristocratic, we can do trade connections. If we do quantity, we can get better goods produced from a production quota. If we go, I don't know, another idea maybe, religious, we get better missionary strength and goods produced because we'll have established religious guilds. Who knows? Just some fun little extra bonuses in the future. I'm not going to migrate again until after we've teched up to Tech 5. Because you can see Rijal Sahil has done Tech 5, Watoy is still Tech 4, but the first person we end up fighting is going to be Rijal Sahil, because we're basically, when the time comes to fight, we're going to be marching straight down this coast, punching, and Watoy should already be our vassal. And then we just see what comes of it. But before that, we need to do these two. Before we do this one, we need to have 65 trust and 200 opinion down in Watoy. Which, we have the 60 trust, and we can get the opinion just by topping off the opinion. We can get the 65, so if we pull you back, takes a little bit for everyone to walk back to us across the desert. There's that trust. We've got the trust now. Do I want to get the storehouse? Yes. I'm being a little greedy because we do need about 225 money, but we'll see. Right now we're making 1.73 a month. We'll see in about a year what money we get when the storehouse is built. We're also getting high up on our devastation though, so we're going to have to do another migrate and kill people and claim territory thing fairly soon. I think we'll go this way this time. So we'll come to Furashar, we'll fight claim, we'll come up here. This is going to be the tough fight, so we'll probably come here, check to see if there's a better commander around, fight claim. We'll actually get a discount on Watakasri though if we win that fight. And then we can just, at that point, probably just come back here and sit down and get more money. Those aren't worth getting. Basically, we're just going to want to beeline to medium warbands and go. We got Genie Cult Power again. Has this worn off? Yes, warmth of life has worn off. We're gonna wait until we have like 4 or 5 power before we fire that off again, because it wears off before we get up to 4, and we need to have 4 power. So we'll chill, and then we'll fire off the warmth of life and do that. Yeah, I kind of want to beeline to these medium warbands because they give a discount. We have one there. We have one here. There's that military technology that we've been looking for. So we can upgrade from Gisa Warrens to Gisa Dao, but which gives us offensive shock, or Gisa Fradian, which gives us offensive morale. I think I want the morale. So as the Bashadi fought more than threats outside their borders, like lizard folk and Chamva, their infantry began to wear more armor to protect against the powerful melee of the foes. The bows began to fall out of favor as their ability to harm other people dropped. So we've developed and spread stronger armor to our infantry, which means we now get our people up and start drilling in preparation to start marching and fighting. We're going to need a couple hundred admin points and some mill points to do it. Which is why we took a Diplo idea. Because we already have important non-technology things to be spending admin and Diplo on, admin and mill on. And we have massive penalties. Right now it's only because we have an Embrace Renaissance, so it's not going to get any better, so there's no point waiting. But I think we'll still just jump forward. Because we're not going to be able to dev up to get Renaissance until after we reform. Just going to have to suffer being backwards on technology for a while. Which is part of why I want to invest in claiming these territories. So when we do reform our government, we get a decent land power. Okay. We can migrate here. Let's do it. So we'll stop drilling. Hope that that is sufficient. Our ruler is not... Okay, our ruler is a little bit better. And not a wizard, so we don't need our warlord... We don't need our chief to be surviving to do things. Okay, we'll eat the Diplo power, I guess. I have uses from admin, I don't want to be spending it right now. Wool... It's fine. Hey, and a bountiful harvest of wool. Wonderful. Let's wait for the morale to get up, because these will be relatively tough fights. It's gonna be one more month, and then we'll fire. And then... Right now it costs 95 because of our land traditions discount. But I don't think we're going to get one from the warband because it's only small. So we've killed the warband. Secured the tribal land. There's no demons to terrorize the local populace. That's just good. It's locked in as wool, which is... yeah, because it could have been like gold, but that's fine. Gold is only a 3% chance. It's like a 50% chance to be wool or livestock. We can't be too greedy. I mean, in theory, we could just back and forth until we only got what we wanted, but I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, in a few more months, we can migrate again and fight the big warband. And then we're going to chill for a little bit until we can until the devastation's down here. Are there any other warbands immediately around? No. Then we probably... well, there's a small band here. It's only 3. These are all only 3. So... small band there. Small band there. There's a medium band there. It might be worth it to just migrate down this way once we've taken that. Secure this entire edge of the desert. All this is uncolonized, but there's a small band there. Large band here, right? Yeah, we can't handle a large band yet. It's a big back and forth, because we don't want to be too aggressive, otherwise we'll fall behind on military. But we also don't want to be too laid back about it, because otherwise we will end up having to colonize too much later. So this one, we will get an additional decrease in land cost. And we'll get a cheaper migration. Okay, we're at 4. Excellent. This will need 102. Should have checked what it was before so we could see the benefit, but it's fine. And then Warmth of Life. We're at 4 power, so we can use our Warmth of Life here. And now we should have our power recover in time to complete the mission before we move forward. Secure Green Hierophant, which steals enemy generals. Oh, it's only 68 because of everything. Oh, that's so nice. I love fighting medium warbands. Where's our next? It's a large warband. We won't be able to fight that because it's going to be 6, 12... It's going to be 3 groups of 6. And those are going to be, you know, the 100 and... There's going to be like 110. There's going to be like 120. I think we're gonna chill until the devastation is down. We'll cut our army maintenance. Oh, you're at 100 already. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and send someone over to say hi to you. Cruel? Isman is cruel. I miss our previous Malik, who was better stats across the board, a wizard could just give us money for free every few years by transmuting rocks to gold. This guy, not so cool. He's going to be the one to call the council. I love that our name is over this coast. Our lands are over here, but it's like, yeah, this is Qasriga. We're just hoping our genie cult power recovers before warmth of life fades. Also wish I could check to see if all the genie artifacts have been found. We do have the reputation. Or gives us more prestige, less liberty, desire, and subjects, which we don't have subjects, but that goes away in 72. I really wish I knew how likely we were to get up to 4 genie cult power before 72. I think that's my single biggest complaint, is that I can't find anywhere to see our genie power. Well, we got there. A magical land. Since the rediscovery of the ancient mechanism beneath our home, much work has been done to clear a path to the surface, and subsequently we have spent long days and nights attempting to decipher its secrets. The last of the mechanism was not meant to create clean, fresh water to refill the empty canals of the city, but it turned out to be instead the source of the city's invisibility ward, which once upon a time protected it from invaders and privateers alike. This insight has allowed us to make a breakthrough, as we've learned how to copy the ancient enhancement of invisibility, albeit far weaker than originally was, and now we're capable of obscuring the forums of around 4 people. Regardless, this ability could still prove useful and allow us to perform some nefarious acts without fear of detection. And we're going to gain a genie cult power that lets us steal generals. Hi, we're just gonna go send 3 people out invisibly to steal your general and drag your general back. And then they're our general? I'm not quite sure how that's gonna work, but okay. Sure game. They'll see our beautiful women and go, oh yes, I must stay here forever. Soon we'll get the ceremonial pit underway, and then we'll start sending out gifts and invite everyone to come have a meeting and figure out what we do from there. Which I think we do know what we do from there. What we do from there is click this button probably right away and immediately vassalize Watoi. And then stand up our army maintenance and push this button. And then subjugate everybody. Okay. That's going to be easy. And then we'll have Utter Dominate. These, I think, are going to go in relatively swift. I think these are going to all go pretty swiftly in this order. I don't think we're going to have this long period of waiting that we've had the last couple hours for a bit. Like, it's not going to be instant, but we're going to be starting our military rush. You're Miltech 5. You're Miltech 4. So, and the only real fight, it looks like, will be Rijal Sahil. Rijal Sahil. Yeah. Sahil, you're going to be the only fight. You're going to be the only challenge on the way, and you're going to have to beat you up first. How many reforms are we? Got the agriculture revolution, then we'll have a legal basis, and then we actually have our country. So we only have 2 steps away from reforming our country. And down here it says we will become a theocracy. So I'll probably just reform to a theocracy right away. Shrewd commerce practices. Allows us to make use of more refined practices, giving our merchants the upper hand over our competition. Right now we're making 1.32. And after 1.38. Woohoo! 6 whole more pennies a month. That's what we call progress. Assuming it doesn't give us more missions when we unify, from the lore-wise, I think we need to get a sail across and rescue Qasriga Doka here. So these Rinta Seekers around us believe that the souls of mortals wiped out all of the gods and took over heaven, and if you achieve enlightenment, you can join them in heaven. So it's like what Christians think Buddhism is. And we can see that Swift-Legged Bongo is over there. Well, we can abolish attacks, execute the troublemakers, or face a revolt and get some money. So let's hope that we can recover our morale. Here's what we'll do. We'll step into Furanchar here, so that when we fire this off, we don't have the problem. Thank you for the money. And then we can recover our troops a little. We should be fine. I forget how long we can keep this going before we have to push it. So we'll push it at the end of this month, like before the month ticks over. Yeah, okay, and then they're going to have to siege through the fort, so we have time to recover our morale, and we can march back and kill them. So, they were whining about taxes, and because our horrible, shitty ruler is a cruel piece of shit, we can just kill them and take all of their money and say, that's what happens when you complain about taxes. Let's go! Kill them and take all their money! We already took all their money, that's why they're mad. Now we kill them all. And that's what happens when you run a tax revolt. Isaman Nkomo goes, "Oh no, let's negotiate." Marches the army out to the desert, then sends his taxmen in the cover of darkness to steal all your stuff. And when you rise up and start assaulting the fort, marches back from the desert and butchers you. Let that be a lesson. Right, we have that extra merchant. We have a free merchant. What happened? Why did you go away? Transfer trade, please. Oh, I see. We marched too far away from each... We probably went too far away over here. So we couldn't actually pull the trade down. Well, now we can, and that gives us like 3 more pennies a month. Now, we're not going to be able to do anything with that other merchant for a bit, but I think when we get back to our other capital, we'll be able to send them up here and push them down. We just can't from over here. We could march down and do the fighting. Or we can see if we can get back to the capital. Is it gone yet? No. But it nearly is. Okay, we're gonna start making our way back. Because it's gonna be cheaper to build in Arden Kurast. I'm pretty sure. I guess that the benefit that made it cheaper to build has gone away. I thought it was cheaper to build. Well, we'll still come back here because that's 11 development without our tribal development. No, work. So sad. There's a difference between working and working. It's something that I've come to learn as I get older. Like, work is important because being able to do things that are productive gives you joy. But, like, labor for someone else that you're alienated from is horrid and destroys you. It's like, well, I don't want it. I see that Rijal Sahil went over here towards Ambariz. I wonder if they're gonna fight. That could cause problems if they all team up. Ooh, that's a music. Oh, wow, 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 wow. So how much do I need for this fire pit? I'm gonna need the 203. Is that inflation? And not significantly. I like this song. This song's good. This is my sort of thing. It's got that wah wah. You can tell I used to play tuba. That I'm like, this is my music. And then we're gonna need another 75 gold to talk to everyone. That's so annoying. We can come here on the way. I'm so greedy, I kind of want to. Let's, because we still need to let a little bit more devastation tick down. Let's go ahead and come over here. Livestock. Why are you giving me livestock? Game. Give me gold. You give me yarn and livestock and livestock. And then you gave me 2 spices, but no gold. That's a tragedy. So pushing this button is 109. Not unreasonable. Like 109 for a province isn't a province with no real fighting is not bad. If we win, we get some prestige and some reputation, so I mean it's worth it to do the fight. We don't get any other benefit. These fights are getting better, easier as we go. Because we get technology and the demons remain demons. Hex yeah. Why don't I just go? I'm so greedy. I'm so greedy. But... we're going to be having another era of recovery, so... what have we got here? Construction cost down. Construction time down. We'll wait until we're ready to build it then. Yeah, we'll wait until we're ready to build it. There we go. We've secured another bit of Qasriga. And there's the small... there's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's a medium here. We're not going to have enough to take it. We may as well go fight it. Now we're just going to need 124 minus some. Yeah. That gave us a bunch of money. Which means I think we can build. We cannot construct more buildings in this particular province. We're at the 3 out of 3 at this building. Okay, so we will have to go back to build it. Or tear something down. Let's actually tear something down. Let's tear down the field. We will take the agricultural revolution, call upon our genie power spell to make rocks lighter, so we can build the ceremonial fire for significantly less, and nearly have all the money we need. then when we have enough admin to claim this as part of our territory, we'll start migrating back towards the true capital. And in the true capital, we'll have the great ceremonial meeting where we bring everyone together and insist that we are going to unify or else. By coming down here, we lost our merchant, though. We definitely need to have this be our capital so that we can have the 2 merchants running. We're definitely being far more aggressive in our military technology spending. We're going to need to chill out when we get back there so that we can face down Rijal Sahil. And when we settle, we're going to be settling this snake. It's not great. But we only really need like 2 more provinces to be touching Rijal Sahil. And then they touch this, and then we can theoretically unify all the way down this coast. Okay. Let's start migrating. We're heading back to home. Transfer trade from there. And soon we'll have another merchant to transfer trade even further down. So, those are such silly and horrible borders. I love them. Time to start sending gifts. So we actually don't want both of you busy. You know what? I'm gonna take out a loan to do the last gift. We need a diplomatic advisor. Well, let's get this trade efficiency person. 190? Are we seriously going to be at 190 now? We're at 242 without them, so we're going to get rid of them anyway. Ardmaya cannot be ruled by a single person. It is simply too vast and empty. Messages take weeks, if not months, to reach their destination. All this means we must not attempt to rule absolutely, but trust our brothers to rule their tribes skillfully, while we take on a more comprehensive perspective and prepare for the time where we can truly reunify the tribes and rebuild our fallen empire. We've sent our representatives, and we've received messages from the largest tribes that they will attend our fire pit and listen to our bold proposal to ensure our continued existence. We get more diplo relations, and we gain... we call the Goryagan tribes to a meeting where we can either try to resolve any conflicts, increasing their opinion, or yell at them and get more shock damage. I think we're going to yell at them, probably. In the beginning, there was a small trickle of people, a few representatives bearing seals. So that's going to ruin our ability to go to the next bit. So we're gonna do the first part of this. There's a small trickle of people, a few representatives bearing seals of the largest tribes roaming across the Jasir Dug. A handful of people trickled in, weeks dragged on. The sun beat down and attendees got restless, believing no others would come. Finally, as threats to leave from those few who'd already assembled started to grow numerous, a date for the meeting was set. A week's time from now. Then, as the grass grew higher, a drumming could be heard. Many tents ready to begin the Coup Sambara, believing it was a vast warband. However, as the drumming increased in volume, the people started to arrive. Full tribes, harried by the vast distances, arrived all together, their elders claiming their seats in the longhouse, now appearing pitifully small. The doors were ripped off and windows enlarged to allow for everyone to hear the first true debate of all, the Guryadagan. One to be remembered, a turning point for our people. First, our leader spoke, talking about the benefits of working together, the stability we could achieve, the settlements we could create and protect if only the thousands of us chose to act as one, unified under a central leadership and pursuing one shared goal. And despite the squabbling and disputes among the tribes, all who live in the ruins of the Vizierate are brethren, or Walalay. And all Walalay know that no matter what animosities arise, should even one Keokul be sighted, they will stand side by side to defeat the demon spawn. This understanding has allowed our people to survive during the millennium of suffering. We might well seize this opportunity provided by our recent successes and turn this accord to a deeper bond between tribes, designed to bring them peacefully under our suzerainty. Alternatively, we could burn these bridges with our kin and use the chaos to force the other tribes under our rule, whether they want it or not. So, we're going to click this button now before we finish this event. And we're going to say that Watoy is like, hex yeah. So Watoy here is now our vassal. A second of silence, then outrage, follows his speech. Hundreds of voices blend together in opposition, while the voices of Watoy shout back in agreement. Isman covers his face with his hands and directs his gaze to the sky, bags under his eyes prominent. In this moment, his age and weariness brought with it laid bare. Few among the assembled tribesmen notice, enchanted as they were by the cacophony of voices. Why do debates of the common folk always turn out like this? A djinn could sort this out, so why can't he? Komba! Shouting back insults. We gain prestige, we piss everyone off, we gain shock damage. But we have a vassal, and now we can stand up our army and obtain subjugaces casus bellis on everyone. We've maneuvered our tribe into the position it needs to be to conquer the lands of Ardmia. The first and most important step will be to turn our fellow tribes from fickle allies into loyal vassals and secure our dominance over the still inhabited parts of our desolate homeland. If we're to reach even greater heights and bring back the Vizierate, there's more to do than bring our civilization back. There's still a lot more to do to bring our civilization back. Right now, the first step is a small and focused, forging the tribes of the Jasir Dog into a unified force, stronger and more powerful than any state seen in this region in centuries. Subjugation casus bellis. I'll eat the prestige. We are at Miltech 5. They're at Miltech 5. Let's start the march. So we've had our grand meeting. Watoi agreed with us and became our vassal, but the other tribes turned against us. And now we must march. We must forge everyone together into a single, unified tribe with Qasriga at the helm, because Qasriga lives in the capital. Don't go to Miltech 6, please. As long as you don't go to Miltech 6, we should be fine. You're okay, I guess. We can even come to here. And then we're only 2 steps away. Our truce is only with Watoi. So... let's go before they go any further. Stability hits. Ouchie ouch. Let's only go 1 step so we don't march into like a 20-strong army. Also, you we don't need. We do kind of need one of you, though. Let's get inflation reduction and go from there. Oh, hello. You're sending people out by boat. That's right, we can build boats. Don't go yet. We have a siege person. Let's send our siege person. They sent their boats. Well, we're gonna have a head start on the siege. And we have a siege person. Hopefully they don't have a siege person. Well, we do have the merchant. So let's grab the merchant and... keep the trade flowing towards us. We have a head start. We have a siege general. They do not have a siege general, but they have a blockade. So... they have a 50% chance of the supply shortage. We have like a 75% chance of a big jump. I think we're gonna win this race, but it is now a race. Who's gonna win the siege race? I think we will, but it's not guaranteed because it is die rolls. I completely forgot that we can just make fleets. Rajal Sahil's like, we have boats, and just sails. And we're just like, we own everything, we'll walk. We'll ambush them. And they're like, okay, bye, we're hopping on our boats. But we are winning the siege race. And we should be able to step into Yarwaran and go down here. We do need to get our stability up. I should have insulted them before I came down. That's my fault. I didn't think ahead. Don't fail this die roll, please. Good. Because that's how it would be, right? That we would fail our die roll like 4 in a row and lose our capital and the game. That's how EU5 works sometimes. And it would be our fault. It would be our fault for forgetting about the potential of boats. If we remembered the potential of boats, we could have had someone here to blockade them and keep them from running out and crush their army. But we didn't. We didn't plan ahead. And now we're in a siege race. We're likely to win, but we're not guaranteed. It's looking better. They actually failed their siege. They're going to succeed this one, probably. Oh, they didn't stay out there to blockade. Oh. They didn't keep their blockade. Fail. Because we failed one. Come on, fail. No. This was looking so good, and now they're at 7%. Don't fail. Okay. We're still winning the race, but they're catching up. And they win at 7%. They just win the race at 7%. And we lose at 28%. Well, at least we're not 100%ed. So we can still take this and then step away. They haven't hit the next Miltech yet, have they? No. So we can win this, we can step away, and that will hopefully lure them back. Win at 70%. Win at 7% versus lose twice at 28 and then go to 42. That's what I meant. That's what I meant when I said it wasn't a certain thing. We were likely to win, but it wasn't guaranteed. And we just watched it. Okay. So now we've both won. This is not going to be enough to win. We can step out here. We're going to step out here, away from the capital, so that they can't land their troops directly on us. And then hopefully they siege the capital. Please abandon the capital, Latoy. I don't want you to get wet and get wrecked. Do I need to just walk back? I think I just need to walk back. Although they're gonna pick up their people, probably. So let's only go, like, partway. And hope that they see us leaving and go pick up their people. Although our ally is there. And they would have even 2-3-3-1 plane touched commander. Oh, if they okay. I think if they're likely to lose if they try to take their city back in Watoy waits, because their commander is plane touched. We have a tiefling commander here, 2-3-3-1. And they just got a 2-2-0-0. So I think we will be able to just march our way up there and take them back. Force them into submission. It's not quite how we were hoping it would go, but the history will show that somebody went through and betrayed the walls. You haven't gone up to Miltech 6 out of nowhere, have you? No. And we don't have a wizard, so we're just kind of hoping that our numbers will lead the day, and they are. And now we can siege down here, and they are probably going to retreat. I don't know, if they only retreat one step, we'll go kill them. Nope, okay, they're going to retreat a ways. It's fine. Have we beaten them enough for them to be willing to accept vassalization? No. Okay. We just have to finish unsieging our territory, and then they will surrender. And while we wait, let's take this opportunity and send a vicious mockery against you, so that we don't get the massive hit for going, oh, but we're such good friends. I completely forgot that I needed to insult Rajal Hill before I attacked. That hurt so much. It's my fault. Little errors, but it hasn't cost us much. Just some money, just some admin points, just some diplo points. Of course we failed at 28%. So that's like, what, 4 28% rolls we failed so far this war, while they won their 7%? Oh no, it was a false alarm. Okay. I'm getting salty over nothing. It hadn't ticked over yet. And... well, that one we failed. What is luck? What is fortune? And the siege is done. The war is over. We take their vassalization. We take all their money, which is only 9 ducats. Complete victory. We're gonna repay those loans that we forgot about. And when we have an opportunity, we'll send someone to improve relations, because right now, they're disloyal. Mostly they're disloyal because Watoi is also strong. They're strong. Watoi is strong. But we have good reputation for killing Korikal, so... no, they're gonna chill. Do we have a genie cult power that will help with them being so angry? Nope. Help them see the funny side of things. I'll recover. Let's drill. We probably need to drill. Wadakchik, no! They've unified up there. We're so far from unification. Like, even when we're done with this, we're gonna have some vassals. And that's that. Can we talk to the merfolk again? We can. Yeah, let's allow more freedom of movement. We need a fleet. We need some fleet. Mostly to just keep them from doing the same thing again on the next war. Enact strong laws. Our realm has been ravaged by war and the people are tired of it. We need some temporary laws to let our country recover strictly. We can gain inflation and lose free war exhaustion. How much war exhaustion have we got? So much war exhaustion. Yeah. We'll take the inflation. And we'll take some free prestige. You're not 6, are you? No. No, let's not. We're gonna need the boat. I'm jumping ahead of myself again. We need the boat. So that the boat can sit here and keep them from fleeing when we march from Berta Lebrax down. So that's what we'll do. They wanted us to have even more army. We got a military advisor, we'll get more shock damage. And then if we have more tribal land and like 8 provinces with infantry, we'll gain a whole lot of money. Okay. We don't need to rush that, but I think I will want to get that one. Just for the sake of everything. I think we can do without you. Now... get our maintenance modifier down so that we aren't spending quite as much on you. I mean, we're still going to be spending more than not having. That's that. For 50 years, we get the shock damage. I should have done that earlier, but it's going to be fine. So now we're queued up on this last war. Oh, I didn't read that one. We have fought the Kayakul for countless years, and over time our people have gradually developed tactics to defeat the brainless, unchanging brutes. One, primarily employed in the southern plains, involves the mass use of the Ardemian warbow. Each is a weapon around the height of a man, taking years if not decades to master, but a well-placed shot with that kind of power to take out a Kayakul from a reasonable distance. Along with this, all across the Jasir Dug, a rather odd tactic we employ is the Kub Simbara, or safety dance. A rhythmic, synchronized movement. When performed perfectly, it renders the dancers difficult to detect by the Kayakul. The Kub Simbara is primarily used by non-combatants to stay hidden, while the warriors fight against the demons. Like the Warboard, this skill takes a lifetime to learn, and few have ever been known to master both. Here lies the problem with our War on Terror. The skill involved in fighting the Kayakul requires too much time. Even if most warriors were to slay 50 Kayakul each, with the last breath of our people, the Kayakul would still reign over the lands. So we need military innovations. Which we're working on. In 1484, we'll have another military innovation. So this ship that's building will give us the mission Fellow Survivors. And then, assuming that we still have the boat, we can send the boat and the army down, fight Abu Badriz, and hopefully take some things. We've got the Bottle of Nikaeba. We've got the Gaffel-sealed scrolls, so we've taken 2 genie legacies already. And we know that one was already in their hands, so assuming that they didn't lose it, we should be able to punch them and take it and have all the genie artifacts. It's a pity we didn't get that bottle that makes our life expectancy longer with our old good ruler instead of this piece of trash who's unifying the tribes. Could you imagine a war wizard standing at the front of this army going, "Rah, we're in charge." It would have been so good. It's gonna take a bit to get down here, so let's make the walk. And hope that we don't actually, like, need the army home when this mission goes off. This says we'll be able to trade with the merfolk more. Alrighty. Fellow survivors. The devastated lands of Ardemia have long been abandoned by most mortals. Cities decayed, filled with crumbling ruins and covered in draughts of sand, deprived of life-giving water. The remnants of fallow fields can be seen crisscrossing the kingdom of nothing. But we remained and are not alone. After the devastation of the dissipation, this kingdom found new life, not on land, shackled as we are by the Kayakul, but under the waters, a blossoming of the merfolk realms, their states numerous and mighty. A human alone cannot control the tides. They're too vast, too powerful. Even if you command them, even if you chain them, they will not listen. However, as we control the earth with our plows and picks, the merfolk control the seas in turn. Together we can rise to greater heights, commanding both land and sea in harmonious coexistence. We can treat 3 times at half price. We have 3 discounted treaties left. Okay. Let's get that war exhaustion down. Let's get into the Aslin Plain pass here so that our boat can see what's going on. We'll throw someone in charge. Samatar can ride this raft. His job is to make sure that the enemy doesn't run away from our slaughter. Ah. They've gone there. Then we'll need to go here. That's still unclaimed territory, so we should be able to launch the war and ambush from it. They have no boats. We were worried about nothing. Rijal Sahil had us going, what if they that? There's still Miltech 5. Miltech is more important. Bring home this other one. And then we declare the war. They have no leader, so this should be a massacre. Blockade enemy ports, please. That way you sail back when you are weak enough. We have knocked down the walls. Let's go. We are having some issues, so let's call up and get our attrition down. Because we can call upon the genie powers to reduce our land attrition. Oh, this is going much better than the last war. This commander may be a piece of garbage, but we have successfully undid him. Or he has successfully unified the tribes. Which is something. Well, that was a loud thunder. Take the vassal, take the money, complete the subjugation. Our tribe should migrate. We'll go ahead and migrate up here. Wool! Why is it wool? Well, we'll hang out here for a bit. Both of these should be a little annoyed with us. Yeah, and Baraz is really mad at us about everything. We don't have every genie legacy. We're missing a genie legacy. Oh no. What genie legacy are we missing? Because this is a genie legacy, I thought. I guess not. Well, we're gonna have to migrate more and find the other genie legacies. But not until after we hit Miltech. We're not going to do a big, heavy bit until we're Miltech 6. Because I want to have better Miltech than our vassals. Wool. So sad. Well. Let's get our army maintenance down a little. And we will eventually need 8 infantry, so we may as well get up there. And we don't want to do the national identity until we found those legacies. Because we can't migrate anymore. And our vassals can't get the legacies, I don't think. So we're going to have to migrate and find them. Let's migrate. So what we need here, we need 15 tribal lands, and then we can spread out and pillage the non-believers. Okay. Actually, do we have a subject loyalty person? No. Let's get the prestige. That prestige will... I thought prestige made vassals like you more. I guess not. Well, Amo Barriz is the only vassal who is unhappy. Ivory! Hexia, that's a decent element. what do we do if we reform before we find everything? Like, does it just lock us out of this? Ha-ta-ta-ta-ta. Probably gonna have to stop relatively soon because of the storm anyway. Oh. Yeah, let's go ahead and call it a day. Because of the storm, I'm concerned about the internet. So, thank you everyone for coming. We did not do utter domination. I did not realize that all of the legacies weren't held. I thought that we had 2 of them, and Anbennar had 1, and when we subjugated them, we would get it. But apparently I misunderstood something. Or something is bugged. But in any case, let's go see if there's someone that we can raid into. If there's enough people to raid into, even, because it looks like everyone wandered off. Well, we'll see. Let's see. We've got Matt doing cheap char repair, D&D with Best Wife Plam, Space Haven we're there, Humankind there. Oh, let's just go to Matt. It tells me that no one's here, but I saw everyone chatting earlier. And Matt won't let me raid, which means no one's here. You all left. We're here for Sarhal, I understand. Probably what it is it's getting to be time for, like, go do dinner and such. Well, I will certainly continue this. I'm enjoying it. We're getting there. You will unify these genie wastes later. Hurrah.